Welcome to another video from DIY Daily. We've just put a video together today showing you how to replace the inlet manifold on this 2015 Volkswagen Golf R. And the reason we're replacing it is we've got these fault codes in there relating to the manifold runner sensor on the manifold itself, but you can't get the sensor separately, so you have to replace the manifold. And you can see we've got P004, P2015 and P2014 in there, all relating to the same thing. So it's quite a common issue with these, but I thought we'd put a video together showing you how to replace it. So if you check the description below, I've put links to all the part numbers of all the bits used and all the tools that have been used throughout as well. We are also replacing the PCV valve on this one, but I'll put a link to that in a separate video. So just before we get into the video, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, if you just click the red subscribe button below, just to make sure you don't miss out on any future content. But we'll get the manifold out and show you what we've got to do. Right, so you've seen the fault codes. We're now going to get into replacing the inlet manifold itself. I've just got the engine cover off already here, because I've just fitted the new PCV valve, which I've done in another video. So, but the inlet manifolds here, the codes are relating to the flat position sensor, which is just this little one down here. The sensor does actually just come out, but so you can't get them separate. Comes part of the manifold from Volkswagen, so that comes on it, and there's the actual vacuum valve there as well. But I'll just show you the new one. So I put links to all the part numbers and all the tools used in the description below and where you can get them from. But just show you the new bit here. You can see you've got the new vacuum valve there, and a little solenoid with it that zoom operates it there with a switch, and then there's the actual little sensor on the back there as well. So it simply just clips in, but for some reason you can't get that separate, but unless you've got a fitting second-hand one. But yeah, we'll get to work putting the new one on. So we've got a few little bits to strip off first, but I'll try to show you in as sort of much detail as I can. So we've got a few pipes to get out of the way. The throttle body, I'll let it come off at the bottom there, but we'll set to it and show you what we've got to do. Well, I'll just put the camera up so you can see what I'm doing, but just before I do, I'll just tell you I'm just roughly just going to make a bit of room first. So we'll just pop some of it. I'm going to try and do it without disconnecting the water pipes. This is a water pipe across the top here, so I'll try and get some of these held out of the way. This pipe off here, some of the connectors off, and there's a screw there for this pipe as well, that'll come off. So I'll just get some of them off for a start. So we've got a few little bits out of the way to start with. Next job we're going to do, we've just got the injection wiring loom harness here, so we'll pop that out of there, disconnect that, and then we've got the fuel rail along the front here. We've got two little Torxes holding the rail in, and the connectors are on there as well. Next things we're going to do is we've got a little bracket just here which stabilises the manifold. There's a little bolt just on the bottom. I'm going to take that off, and there's a connector just here on the throttle body. We'll get that off. There's the main hose clip for the throttle body. Can't quite see it in there as well. And we'll get that off. And we might just take this off here just to give us a bit more room as well. Might just make it a little bit easier. So. With that off now, that you can see all the bits we need to get out there a bit clearer, so we'll get them off. First time I've had one of these off on a Golf R, so might be a little bit vague on a few bits for the first time. Some of the airbox out of the way now. We've got a few of them bits off underneath. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to slacken the main bolts that hold the manifold itself off. Just see through there, you've got one at the top there, and then there's an access hole to the bottom ones as well. So there's they're all Torxes barring the two end ones. You can quite see it through there. There's a 10mm nut on that one and a 10mm nut on the end there as well. We'll just slacken this bolt off there. This is on the stabiliser bracket. We're just going to see if we can get with them all loose. We might be able to just lift it up enough to just work that out and get it out, but we'll get the manifold bolts loose to start with. And there's a few connectors that might be a little bit easier to access once we can move it a bit. You can access the top ones okay, but for the bottom ones they're a bit far in through a little hole, so you need to rig up quite a long reach but sort of narrow shaft on the Torx 27. So now that the manifold bolts are out, we're just going to slightly wind this. There's a stud through here into this stabilising bracket, so obviously we can't just pull it off the stud, and we're just going to wind this out of the manifold itself, and then we'll have to pop the hose off the throttle body there as well. Right, so now we've got everything loose there, and just slid that out of there. The manifold's all quite loose now. We're just left with one little bolt just round to the right hand side of this little intake screw there. Just try and get it on camera here. There's a little Torx just in the back there, and you just want to get that out as well. That just holds a little pipe there to it. And then also the little metal pipe there as well. It'll take that union off. You might have to slacken it at both ends, and just the union just gets in the way as well. So you get that off, and then we should be able to get the manifold out. We're nearly there. I'm just going to take the oil filter cap off as well. It's just a little bit tight past that. It's a little bit of a jiggle there, nearly got it out now. I can see a few more of the connectors better. So we'll get that one off on the side there. There's one more connector on the other side, just for the flat valve, and then there's just a little pipe on the back as well. You just have to flick a little tab over. And you can slide that out of place. Once that's out of the way, just get the actual vacuum pipe off as well. We'll release the manifold. So that's all out of the way now. Well, a little bit of a pain to get out, a bit tricky. There's just a few pipes on the bottom that and connectors that are just a little bit awkward to get off, but once you get your head in there, you can just about see them once you get it sort of loose. So it's just working it out, just being careful you're not snagging out that. So that connector was a little bit tight as we were pulling it, but as soon as it come back a little bit, we could get it off. So it looks pretty clean there. We're just going to give that a quick clean up with a rag, but then we'll get to work swapping the bits over. The old manifold here, got a sensor in the top there to swap over. I think there's a little bracket there as well. I'll take that out. On the bottom here, got another bracket there, that one's swapping over, and the throttle body as well, just 4 Torxes on that, so we'll swap that over and we should get back to work refitting it. So this is the first time I fitted one of these on a Golf R, so I was a little bit vague on a few of the bits, sort of had to work it out as I was going along. Yeah, so that's everything swapped over now, all for this sake of the sort of solenoid valve really. But we can see, I'll show you as well, the valves weren't fully closing on this old one as well. Just a little bit hard to see on there, but this one here is not quite as open as these two. I'm not too sure, this end one might looks a little bit off as well, so we'll get this one back into place now and get the job finished off. And as we clean the surface up now, we've obviously got a new seal on the new manifold. Let's get things back together. So we've located the manifold into place now. I've just got the 2 outer nuts in. Now we're just going to put all the bolts in and just run them in gently. Then we'll whip round them one by one, just giving them a light nip. They don't need to be too tight. So everything's back together now. Just clean some of the fuel off as well, just put a little bit of petrol out of some of the pipes. The next thing we're going to do, just plug the diagnostic machine in, clear all the fault codes, give it a quick road test. So just got back from road test, everything's spot on, the codes have all cleared, nothing's come back. Just before we went out on the road test, we did just give it a quick, just left it running for a few minutes, just had a good look at all the pipes, make sure everything was sealed up. But you can see after road test we've got no codes in there as well, so it's definitely fixed the fault. But say it's the first time I fitted one on one of these Golf R's, so I had to sort of try and wing it as I was going along a bit for the video. But the lad was quoted about 4 or 5 hours at Volkswagen to do this. So if you want to have a go yourself, you can save yourself quite a lot of money, so I thought I'd share the video with you all. If you want to check my channel out, I've got a few other Golf R videos on there as well. But yeah, I hope the video helps someone. And if you want to just check out the description below, there's links to the part numbers and all the tools used on that as well. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.